Alright, ready?
Kayfabe Gimmicks! You know where to find us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube.
Fucking #1 Kayfabe Gimmicks Podcast ever. So.
How are you looking for?
Put words in the wrong place.
Are you recording all this, dude? The best wrestling podcast that's always been.
What you gonna do, brother, when the beast starts talking about wrestling and drinking whiskey and it's all crazy up in here?
Welcome to Kayfabe Gimmicks. This is Snoova. I got the Beast here, and I got Unclean Spitter. And tonight we're going to talk about TLC and Stairs, Raw, and the upcoming Royal Rumble. Pretty sure you got something you wanted to say there, Matt?
Yeah, what's up? This is the Unclean Spitter. How's everybody doing today? Feeling good? That's good.
Feeling good.
It is fucking New Year's Day, the first day of 2015, and the first episode of the Kayfabe Gimmicks Podcast. Can I get a yay, yay?
Yeah. Alex is... Oh, my God.
Oh, fuck me.
Alright, so TLC happened just this past weekend.
Right.
Actually, it's a couple weeks ago now. Has it really been a fucking couple of weeks? Feels like just yesterday.
Yeah, it actually has.
2 or 3?
It's been 2 weeks now.
Okay.
So, obviously, the first thing I want to address, and I think the worst thing that happened, was the fact that Reigns came back.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, Mr. Punch a lot. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's not good for anybody that he's back. Except for himself. That's about it.
Especially when it turns into Cena versus him, and there'll be a lot of punching going on for the next year.
There's going to be a whole lot of 5 moves of doom being thrown around.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not even that. I mean, you have two faces there. You can't turn Reigns heel.
No, because they want to push him to the top just like Cena. You can't use him as a heel, and they're not going to use Cena as a heel. I just mentioned this. If they're going to use Cena as a heel ever, it needs to be right now. Literally. Right now at this exact moment is the perfect time.
But then you're turning Lesnar babyface. That's the big Rumble match. That's our main event.
You don't have to do it until after the Rumble. Make Cena lose at the Rumble. Cena loses at the Rumble, realizes that he basically can't beat Brock without Triple H's help. Boom. Because Triple H is backing Lesnar at this point because he doesn't want Cena to have the fucking belt.
I'll give you this. But I have a few problems here. I mean, still we're getting into that Reigns versus Cena thing.
Look, a face versus face match is good.
If done right, like CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, and that was 3 years ago now.
Like CM Punk versus Cena. When CM Punk was a face when he came back, he was a face. He was not a bad guy.
That's a very good point.
I know, but it's kind of like Cena versus The Rock, where both are faces, everybody picks their favorite and automatically made Cena the bad guy.
Yeah, but that's because people don't like Cena. The majority of the people that,
Okay, hang on. In that situation, then, who's the bad guy then? Because nobody likes... Well, okay, I guess a lot of people who aren't like us like Reigns, but everybody in our area of wrestling and everything about it doesn't like either of them. Because they're the exact same person.
Yeah.
Minus some mic skills because Reigns can't talk to save his life.
Oh my God, Cena is amazing on the mic still. I'm sorry, I still enjoy the man on the mic when he's got a good day.
Yeah, when he has a good day, when he's not doing the fucking Disney Channel comedian bullshit. I mean, seriously.
I just said it. I'm sure Snoova saw it, man. Talking about bringing back the Doctor of Thugonomics would just be amazing.
I love that personality. I'll always love that personality.
You posted that 10 greatest comebacks video, and the first one was back whenever he was still basically that character, basically evolving into this crappy Disney Cena that we have now. But at least back then he was still fun to watch, and he was fun to listen to on the mic at a minimum.
I know there was a lot of hate about Cena versus Triple H back then, and even then Cena was overrated. But I still feel like we got more quality out of Cena back in that day than we do now.
Oh, God, yes.
He's played out now. That's the major problem. That's what happened to Hulk Hogan when he went down to WCW. Motherfuckers was booing him before he turned heel.
Yeah, but when he turned heel, it was still such a stab to them.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't hate him as much as people hate Cena.
But it would be the same thing at this point if Cena turned heel. It would be such a stab at all of the people who aren't smarky. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, if it was the rock crowd, if it was at a rock crowd to where everybody cheers Cena, it would be crazy. But if it was like a regular crowd, he would get a pop. If he turned heel, he would get a pop.
Oh, yeah. If he was in a match and he just all of a sudden dropped an AA on Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler, he would probably get a pretty solid pop for that. Just because of the fact that people would be like, holy crap, is Cena turning heel right now?
Yeah, he would hit
into his jorts and pulled out a motherfucking chain and wrapped it around his goddamn neck. The crowd would go crazy. I would go crazy. I'd be marking out in my seat like, oh my god,
it would be worse than me with Sting showing up, because I was sitting here on the couch and I started freaking out whenever I saw Sting show up. I'm not even gonna lie, because that was not what I was expecting at all.
Alright, now we are on time limit, guys, so let's go through TLC real quick. We had The New Day versus Gold and Stardust.
Love Stardust, still love Goldust. The New Day is freaking terrible.
I really don't get where they're going with the gimmick. I really feel like Stardust is the best we've ever seen Cody Rhodes at.
I think I the dashing Cody Rhodes more, but still.
Yeah.
My favorite part of dashing was when his face got fucked up.
Yeah, whenever
he did the Mankind thing.
And he was the undashing Cody Rhodes or whatever it was.
Fucking Phantom of the Opera shit.
Yeah,
but the rest of dashing was terrible, guys. When he was giving makeup tips.
Well, I mean, it got corny at some points, yeah, but he had his moments.
I don't know. I definitely think we're seeing the evolution of Cody Rhodes into something way bigger than anybody realizes what he is right now.
But for years, people thought he was going to be main event material. Is he main event material yet, or is he going to be?
I still say he's going to be. I don't think he's there yet. I think he's going to have to give up Stardust before he can get there, and I think he's having too much fun with Stardust.
Yeah, he can't be Stardust and be the main event. It wouldn't happen. He's good for what he is right now, but if he fucking gets rid of the makeup and shit, gets rid of Goldust, they should be beefing. They should have their match at fucking Mania. Everybody wants it. It's common sense. It draw money. People would want to watch that. He drops that and doesn't become dashing. If he becomes something else, it will propel him up. And it would be him versus somebody, one of the new dudes. No, not new, but like Ziggler and whatever, you know what I'm saying? If Ziggler could ever be a heel, but I don't think he really can be. He's just too fucking good.
Well, I mean, that's the perfect segue. Ziggler obviously won the Intercontinental at TLC.
Yep.
But part of me, as much as I love him, I feel like WWE has basically turned him into a spot monkey.
Yeah. No, that's...
Yeah.
He's Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he is. But people like him better.
Yeah. He's a lot more over than he was even whenever he had the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
I feel like casuals really love Kofi. And casuals love Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, but the difference is that Dolph also picks up all the votes from everybody else, too. Dolph is over with everybody. It doesn't matter who you're going to ask. They're going to say they like Dolph. It's not a question anymore. Dolph is just over the entire spectrum. He is just over. From the
too damn good
in his seat to me sitting on my couch examining every single little thing that happens, he's over all the way across.
Now, on that same thing, he fought Luke Harper. I feel like Luke Harper is definitely a good up-and-coming big guy.
Yeah.
He's the best they have. Have you seen the things he can do?
Oh, yeah. Though I hate the costume. I hate the redneck costume.
Yeah, I can't take that.
I looked at some of his indie stuff because somebody mentioned it to me what his gimmick was back then with the crazy trucker thing. I actually liked that more than what he's doing right now. And it's
I could see a crazy trucker.
It's just a little bit different. It's not a complete change, but there's just small things, and I just don't think the character that he's running just fits enough that he's going to be able to main event with it. I mean, what's he going to beef about people with for a title? Even whenever he held the Intercontinental Championship, it didn't feel like he cared about it.
Well, speaking of that, the U.S. Championship has meant nothing forever now, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with its fabled Dean Ambrose run.
Because it's fucking a WCW belt, and you know how fucking Vince is.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid point.
He doesn't want to give props to it. What they should do is run some kind of fucking shit with it that takes it back to where the fucking shit began, the U.S. Championship began, and the history of it and what it fucking means. Better than they did with the IC. Better than they did with the IC Championship belt. Like, give it something, and give two wrestlers, dope ass wrestlers, a wrestler's wrestler, to fucking fight it out for it.
What I think you're trying to tell me is it should not be about U.S. nationalism.
Well, that's kind of Ryback already said. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. The recent Ryback face turn and the fact that he's starting to get over again makes me happy, because y'all both know I like Ryback. I've always liked Ryback, even whenever he was, what was it, Ship Shepherd or whatever it was?
I didn't like Skip Sheffield, but I do like the Ryback character, and I don't feel like he's the worst wrestler on the roster.
No, he's gotten better. He's probably still really stiff. Like, he probably still beats the shit out of people in the ring. Legitimately.
Yeah.
He's still better than Eric Rowan's face turn.
Oh my god. Oh, dude. Why'd you have to bring that up?
Because it's something we have to discuss. Eric Rowan's on a face turn for a while now.
2
months.
Win. Bro, really?
And it makes no sense.
How are you going to have a monster face? I mean,
we did it with Kane and Taker, but this is different.
I was about to say, that's a completely different situation. At least they could kind of talk. Rowan doesn't say anything.
Kane was great for comedy. Kane as a talking heel was the worst for me, actually.
Yeah.
Kane as a talking face, he can be funny as shit, but Kane as a talking heel, I'm like, you're using a lot of big words, and you're not really scary.
Yeah, the dude's really fucking intelligent, is the thing. And
when he becomes the actual person, yes.
Yeah, so it's like, it kind of gives the whole, he's gonna fucking choke slam you to hell shit, like it puts it to the side, you know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna wipe 3 things off for TLC conversation right now. Steel Stairs match sucked.
Fuck that fucking match. Oh my god.
Worst thing I've ever seen. Like,
horrible.
Tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs was just the fact that they added that just onto the title of the pay-per-view made me skip that match in title. I will
say one thing about it before we close out on that. Dear God, they made out this huge thing about the stairs being really heavy, and then they just lifted them up like they were fucking 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That's because they are 20 pounds.
The chair bat match was pretty shitty, but it was way better than the stairs match.
I've had bowel movements better than the stairs match.
We're not going to talk about the Divas match at all, because obviously... Anyways, United States Championship match, again, we don't need this to be about United States nationalism.
No, it does. Sorry. It fucking does not so much not need to be about that.
Well, I was mentioning this the other day, and this whole reset with the U.S. Championship thing is the exact same thing Cesaro did when he had the damn belt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Americans,
so even more
stuck. Hey, Americans, step up. That's basically what they're trying to play it as.
So we have 3 more things off TLC. And one of them isn't really main event quality, but I want to save it because it's a conversation I really enjoy. The other one is John Cena versus Seth Rollins.
I really enjoyed that match, I'm not going to lie.
But I loved it. I hated one part about it, and that was the refs came out and discussed who won.
Yeah, it should have been a draw.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
But, like, they did it when, like, the whole cheating part happened, and we saw him go through, like, such bad writing. Like, oh man, Seth Rollins goes through a table. We don't discuss it at all, but they both go through the table at the same time. We're gonna have a discussion in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, it should have been a draw. That should have been the end of it.
Yeah, they should have just stuck with one ref, not knowing who went through the table first, and just not brought out the other refs and just been like, okay, this is a draw. On a note,
It was a
of
great
that,
match.
though, however, the spot of Seth Rollins going over the table from the AA was so fluid and so amazing that I'm pretty sure my dick got a little bit hard from that.
What I'm gonna say to you is, I love Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury being out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
They are this generation's Briscoe and Patterson, and I am so happy every time I see them do anything.
The fact that they were cleaning up the tables and stuff like that after Rollins went through it was also a great thing.
Yeah, that was ill. That was ill because they were like, hide the evidence, hide the evidence.
Yeah. They weren't even like trying to do anything wrestling related. They were just straight up being security and hiding the fact that Rollins went through a table.
Yeah.
No, I know, but if we go all the way back to Hell in a Cell, they have been instrumental in these matches, and they've been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true.
Now, after that, we had the Usos versus the Miz and Mizdow.
I'm over the Usos. I'm straight up over them.
I
Yeah.
am too. I don't give a shit about them.
They made them corny. They made them corny now.
I love Mizdow.
Yeah.
I loved him when he was Sandow. I still love him. And I really feel like he should have won that World Heavyweight a long time ago.
Can I bring up something from tonight then?
Sure.
The fact that they were sacrifices to the Ascension made no sense to me.
If we're going to talk about the Ascension real quick, in general, I feel like this whole, them being the, oh god, the words are escaping me, hawk and animal.
Yeah, they're not.
Fuck
But,
no.
like, that's their gimmick now.
No, that is straight up the gimmick. They even had shoulder pads on in their freaking promo.
The Road Warriors, there we go.
Yeah,
the
the
Road
Road
Warriors.
Warriors.
They stole the Road Warrior gimmick, and I just... My mind is full of fuck, because at one point I feel like they would have been the guys to take out Taker.
They even used the words "enter the wasteland." Like, could that be any more within a sense of the English language? Between the words "road warriors" and "wasteland," there is a straight up line connecting the two words. Like,
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't
agree.
understand why they would do that. I liked how they worked on NXT. I watched a good bit of that. I don't like how they're trying to present them on Raw.
No, not at all. That's why I was saying, at one point I feel like they were the perfect grim, dark antithesis to Taker.
Yeah, I would have eventually liked to see a match between, if we could have gotten a Undertaker and Kane back on the same page kind of situation, a tag team match between the two of them would have been pretty entertaining.
On that note, because the three of us haven't had the chance to say this, but I mean, I think we all cried a little bit at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Fucking shit. It was so much bullshit.
Okay.
And it's coming up again this year, and I really don't want to see Taker.
I want to see Sting kick Taker's ass at WrestleMania is what I want to see.
I'm going to put it like this. I was sitting in the middle of a desert watching WrestleMania with a group of probably 30 other men. And we watched Brock Lesnar hit that F5. And we watched him cover him. And we watched 1, 2, and we all yelled kick, thinking that it was going to be The Undertaker's comeback. And the ref counted 3. No one knew what to say. No one understood what was happening. And everybody just kind of went, okay, well, that's The Undertaker's career then. He shouldn't wrestle ever again.
Exactly.
He, like, at this point, his career is meaningless. Because if he's not coming back to WrestleMania to defend the streak, why are you having him there?
Well, continuing off that logic, our current WWE champion, Lesnar, is a huge problem. He hasn't defended the belt in almost 4 months. He defeated the streak and hasn't really done jack shit.
I don't have a big problem with him not defending it. He needs to be there. He needs to cause trouble. I don't have like when Hogan had the belt back when the NWO was popping. He didn't defend it. He was running. They was always protecting him, and it was cool. I mean, for a while, it got played out after a while. You know what I'm saying? But
see, Lesnar hasn't shown up.
yeah, I know that's the big issue with it is that he's not there.
Time in a while.
He doesn't. Everybody knows he don't give a fuck about wrestling, about pro wrestling. Everybody knows all this about him. That's why people don't like him. Not because he's a bad guy heel. It's just because of that reason.
It's almost like X-Pac heat, but it's basically Brock Lesnar heat because everybody like Brock Lesnar basically has his own kind of heat at this point because he's known as just someone who wants the money. His contract is set up so well that all he has to do is show up a couple times a year and they pay him millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, if he beat the streak, I will never fucking fuck him because of that. Because of him being, because
give him a lot of credit for it.
Because of him being the dude who doesn't give a fuck about pro wrestling. That's why he should have never beat the fucking streak.
Yeah.
It should have been. It should have been Kane.
I'm not gonna say he doesn't care.
Kane. Why? Kane would have been all right. I could have accepted that. I would have been like, oh shit.
You know what I could have accepted over everything else? Is if simply it would have been Kane versus Undertaker, and Kane defeats the Undertaker, and neither of them ever show up in wrestling ever again until their Hall of Fame induction.
I'll raise you something different. What I would have liked to have seen is literally Undertaker do a 3-month, 8-month stretch and just retire at Mania. 20-0.
I would have been okay with that as well.
One final stretch, man. Just give me the man I love. Let me see him do a good story for a couple months and just be done.
He has to be beat to leave the game.
Yeah.
He's old school. That's the rules. You go out with your fucking shoulders on the mat.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, but then you hired Sting. So did you hire Sting to do the immortal match that everybody's wanted forever, or did you hire him for another reason?
They couldn't have done it for that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let Lesnar break the streak. Nobody's going to care about Sting versus Undertaker now. I mean, it'll still be hyped up. Everybody will still watch it. Everybody will still want to watch it. The difference is that it doesn't carry the weight that it would have carried last year.
And that goes to the whole Sting thing. Is Sting here for just one match, or is Sting going to go ahead and put on a show? Because I would like to watch Sting put on one final year.
No, he's here for one match, and it's Mania versus Triple H. That's it. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, fuck. Do you think it is? You don't think they'll shot it well? Fuck. It's the Royal Rumble, then the Chamber, then Mania, so...
No Chamber this year. Speaking of which, while we're talking about everything, Chamber's gone.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm not going to...
I love the Chamber. I love the Chamber. It's actually coming back, but I feel like it's a really good, exciting match in between Mania and Rumble.
The only reason I'm not upset about it is the simple fact that if Lesnar holds the belt, they're not going to defend the championship there, which means the best thing we're going to get is a number one contenders match to make this triple threat at Wrestlemania.
All right, so we're on a time limit, so let's hurry up through this. We got Bray Wyatt versus Ambrose at TLC. This was their second match since Hell in a Cell.
And it turned into a promo.
More importantly, Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series, and TLC all ended improperly. None of those were proper matches.
Yeah, like I said, it ended in a promo.
Yeah.
We haven't had a clean defeat, but we have been able to get Wyatt back over after burying him. I feel we can say that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Wyatt is definitely back on the... Just from his entrance even, you can tell he's back over.
And this gets into the huge problem of when I said we shouldn't have combined the belts. It was the worst idea ever.
I think whenever it happened, it made sense. I don't think they thought this far ahead with all the talent that they had in the developmental system that they were prepared for it. They have so many good guys that are coming up right now. They literally finally got their next generation after they've been trying to find it for so long, which is why we've seen Cena Orton 50 million times.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking feud.
We're not going to talk about it. No, we're not going to talk about it. Don't worry. But they finally got their next generation, and now they're not ready for it. How good would it be if they redid the brand split, and you could have?
I would love to do the brand split.
And you could have, I don't know, even crappy Reigns fighting with Rollins over the World Heavyweight Championship, and on the other side, you could see Cena and Lesnar still doing their thing. It would give people a real reason to tune into SmackDown. Because honestly, besides the wrestling, what point do you have to tuning into SmackDown? It doesn't really advance many storylines.
We haven't had a good storyline in forever.
Here's the thing about SmackDown is that too much Raw is on SmackDown, and I can tell they edit the fucking fans so much. It stops me from watching it.
I hear you. The only reason I want to watch this week's episode is because I love Edge and Christian. So let's go ahead and move on to Raw.
Okay.
Edge and Christian opened it, and it was amazing.
Honestly, this week's Raw was the best Raw that I've seen in a very, very long time.
It was the first must-watch Raw, I think, in years.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, in years? I don't know. No, not in years.
What would you put up there with it then?
I don't know, but I've seen
the Punk going away episodes. I mean, they were good, but at the same time, after he came back in that heel turn, part of me thinks the entire amazing Punk sitting down and giving his speech and yelling out Colt Cabana was kayfabe. It was all kayfabe.
Well, some of it was, but I mean, that Raw wasn't that great. That moment was. It set it off. But I don't know. I've seen Raws where they had just straight fucking good wrestling in it, and the show just flowed.
Okay. But to go along with the good wrestling, did they have? I'm gonna admit it. The storyline that progressed on Monday was actually good. The way Rollins worked Cena was amazing. I'm sorry, that was the best heel work we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if we're gonna talk about
I would agree with that 100%.
I really don't like Rollins as a heel because he comes off as a whiny bitch.
He does, but he plays it very well. The thing is, great as a face. Whenever he was NXT champion, he was a great face. Whenever he was in the Shield and they were a heel-face kind of mix, he did really well there.
I think he was fine when the Shield was heel.
But the thing is that I think he works better as a whiny bitch heel and a more of a narcissistic planning, everyone's going to try and get me, so I need to work everybody else kind of guy. He's not overly... I mean, yes, obviously his in-ring work is amazing.
Yeah.
But in the scope of what WWE actually is, he's not really the most dominant guy in his matches. When was the last time he straight up one-on-one dominated somebody?
Well, see,
first off, that finisher, highly dominated.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, that's...
Second off, that line where he was like, I'm going to kill him anyways.
Yeah.
That was that line, dude. That was that highly dominating moment.
That was the legitimate, I am the best heel that is in the WWE and that we are going to see for a while, save for maybe if Ambrose goes on a heel run and they just let him go crazy. But it has to be in something big. It can't be Ambrose is fucking around with the Intercontinental Championship and he's going crazy beating up the Intercontinental Championship. It needs to be the main event and dude is just losing his shit because that's the only other way I can see someone topping that moment for a good while.
I'll give it to you. Daniel Bryan came back, said he's going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
He was. Will he win?
Yes.
You think he will?
I think he wins it and beats Lesnar. I don't think they're going to give the strap back to Cena right now.
I don't think they are either.
You think they're going to bury Reigns then right now?
I think that maybe Bryan comes back, wins the Rumble, goes to WrestleMania, fucks up Lesnar, which would be fucking great, gets the championship. Then that's when Rollins comes with his Money in the Bank. I think
and cashes in right then.
He's got to, because
Yeah, I agree.
Because
But I feel at that point we throw away the
Daniel
streak.
versus him would be great wrestling. It would just be great. Those two dudes against each other.
And it also, if this helps you out here in this argument, this is a way to not bury Reigns. Reigns doesn't win the Rumble. Bryan wins the Rumble. Bryan goes on to WrestleMania, beats Lesnar. Rollins cashes in on Bryan. But then Reigns can air his fucking beef and all that shit, and all of a sudden now it's a triple threat because fuck it, they want us to shove Reigns down our throat anyways. They're going to find a way to do it. I just don't think they can shove Reigns down our throat with Bryan being there.
Now, at this point, I feel like Ambrose needs to step back in. And we have to talk about the fact that Lesnar has a rematch, technically.
I don't think there's going to be a Lesnar rematch.
No, once he loses that belt, he'll be gone for a while.
So we take the streak and then we just bury Lesnar?
Yeah. I think he disappears for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. If not more.
I don't even know how long is he signed for now. Is he signed past this year?
He's got like a little bit after Mania, I think.
Yeah, so would it really be surprising if Lesnar disappeared after Mania? No, it wouldn't surprise anybody. Well, okay, it would surprise the 10-year-old, but again, it would not surprise us.
Unless they sign him again, because every year after Mania, they keep signing him.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's just here and there. He will, after Mania, or if not, the pay-per-view after Mania, he will go away for a while.
Rules.
If he's at Extreme
I will
Rules.
say, Extreme Rules always seems to pay off for a lackluster Mania because Mania never hits the high points that I want it to.
I think that's because they try to pay off the things that you're expecting. Like, okay, let's be honest here. Last year at Mania, we all saw Daniel Bryan winning from a mile away once he got that match with Triple H.
And it was the worst Mania ever.
After fucking Taker lost, like,
yeah, I
to
think
gain anything back after that was hard.
Yeah,
It wasn't even just that. I mean, I'm going with the whole thing of, like, that triple threat sucked. It wasn't going to be good no matter what.
Yeah.
I think the wrong people were in that triple threat. Y'all both know this. I like Batista. I've liked Batista for a long time. Even whenever I was a little kid, I liked Batista.
Minus his injuries, I'll give it to you.
But him coming back and the way they tried to force feed him was not going to work.
Yeah, because if he just came back and if he came back and didn't win the Rumble, he would have been a face and people would have loved him.
Yeah, exactly. If he would have even just came back and his match would have been against Triple H and he beat the living shit out of Triple H, people would have lost it and been all over Batista.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is the whole weakest part of Mania last year. There was no real major storylines besides Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that's true.
And force feeding him down my throat doesn't make me love him. I know he's supposed to be one of the best and everybody loves him, but I mean, he's cool, but don't force it down my throat.
I think, honestly, this year it'll be a little bit less with Bryan from a simple standpoint that even if he wins the Rumble, there should be other storylines progressing. Okay, let's be real here. Cena doesn't fit into Mania right now.
Nope.
No, he doesn't.
Which means they have to develop a storyline.
I will say Cena versus Wyatt was good.
I agree, but they can't do it again. They're not going to do that less than a year later.
I mean, who's he going to
wrestle? I don't feel like Wyatt can continue. Wyatt can't be wrestling fucking Ambrose, though.
No, I agree. Wyatt, if anything, I honestly have no idea who he could get at Mania. There's no one who makes sense.
Well, I feel like Cena's going to get 17 at Rumble. I feel Cena's going to win it.
It's either going to be at Mania, it's going to be Cena and fucking Rollins at Mania.
No, I don't think so. They've done it too much already.
No, I'd see Cena versus Bryan first, and actually, I would love to watch that match.
The problem is that there's no story there.
You have plenty of a story there because you have the Authority fucking him over every week. You have both of them fighting the Authority, and at the end of the day, the Authority should win it all for both of them.
Yeah, but how do you work that, though? They're both... Okay, well, Cena is not over. Cena is over with the children and the market and the merchandise and all that stuff. Bryan is more over with everyone. But you can't... There's no way they can play that up in the amount of time that they have left with them both still being faces.
Well, I mean, there's no way to play Daniel Bryan right now besides as the underdog.
You're unfortunately very right.
What if Bryan makes it to the main event and fucking loses to Brock?
Rollins has to win
I
that.
would be okay with that.
Everybody. What if everybody expects fucking Daniel to come into that main event and fuck up Brock, and what happens? Brock fucking wins.
I think Rollins cashes in no matter what and leaves WrestleMania as the champion.
That's a high possibility right there.
Because after the Royal Rumble, we're not going to see Brock until Mania.
Yeah, most likely.
More than likely. I don't know the exact amount of dates left, but let's be serious. You're probably
Okay,
right
we'll
there.
see him in promos and stuff, but we will not see him defend the title again after the Royal Rumble whenever he defeats Cena until Mania. There's no way they let Cena take that strap off him.
I mean, Cena's gonna hit 17 sooner or later before.
No. He's going to get 17, probably 18, maybe 19.
It could hit 20.
Okay, yeah. Because he's going to wrestle for at least another 5 years. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way they let him pull the strap off Brock. Because what storylines do they have then? Other than, okay, Cena's the champion and he has to fight the Authority, but the Authority's main guy is Rollins, who has Money in the Bank contract, which means they can't put him as the number one contender. You can't put your Money in the Bank guy as your number one contender. That's not how this works.
No, but you can let Reigns win Money in the Bank.
And what? Have a Money in the Bank versus Money in the Bank match?
Or not Money in the Bank. He wins. The Rumble. Reigns wins the Rumble, goes up against Brock, and Daniel Bryan has a whole screwed over storyline where he has to make his way into the make it a triple threat again.
Fuck no.
No, please.
They do that so often. Do you guys remember how many times this
I
has
know,
happened
but
by now?
back-to-back years, man, with the same guy. I like Daniel Bryan, I really do, but if they try to push another triple threat with him being the underdog and he fights his way into the fucking main event again.
I mean, as long as it doesn't happen at Mania, I'm cool with it. That was kind of the big thing. They wasted a whole match at Mania of just having Daniel Bryan try to fight to get into the main event.
I mean, you're right, but
If they had taken off the Triple H versus Daniel Bryan match and had something else there, it could have been a better show.
you're right. But Triple H gets his match. That's plain and simple.
Yep.
Honestly, a heel turn needs to happen. Somebody in that face group needs to go heel because Bryan, Cena, and Reigns can all not be face going into Mania.
I don't know, man. That's
Ambrose.
crazy because I don't know who they would turn heel. There's no way you can do it to Daniel. There's no way.
No, because the fans would riot. It would be like whenever they tried to put him with the Wyatts and everybody still just cheered for him.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck are they even doing with this shit?
I mean, they could do Daniel Bryan versus Wyatt again now.
It could be possible, but I don't think it has the same effect without the group. The fact that Daniel Bryan was outnumbered is what made it work as well. Because he was outnumbered and there was no way he could win that fight.
Well, let's jump back to Miz and Mizdow.
Okay.
Are they going to stay together all the way through Mania?
Mania might be their match.
I hope
it's,
so.
It's getting pretty heated now to where I can kind of feel it. Like Miz is gonna be like, "All right, fuck you, man," and they're gonna beef. That'd be a good.
Miz
I don't know if the
wins?
match itself would be any good, but I'm sure it would be a good match. Really,
It would be a good pre-show match. The one they throw up on YouTube because fuck you, who cares?
I'm gonna put it to you like this: dream scenario right now. Miz wins the Rumble, gets the World Championship at Mania, and turns on Mizdow.
That's horrible.
Mizdow versus the Miz. Miz Sandow finally gets his belt.
It won't happen, dude. That's just your inner Mark talking.
I know, man, but the Marks would love it because the Marks love
The
it.
little baby inner Mark.
You're right about that.
And technically, they matter more than we do.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I had a whole thing about when Little Jimmy was around. Little Jimmy got kidnapped, and they were Sherlock Holmesing it every week to figure out who kidnapped Little Jimmy. And finally, it turned out Kofi kidnapped his ass.
I don't even remember that.
I never told you guys this one, but if you had done this, and you ended up doing a main event of motherfucking Kofi versus R-Truth, Kofi as the heel, it would have been amazing. I mean, how would he get tuned in every week to see if they found?
How would he got little Jimmy pulled up in a fucking van with free candy on the side of it? Like, Kofi, what the fuck happened to you, man? Said, shut up. I got sweet tarts in here.
All right. So I'm just going to bring this up because I already mentioned it before. And this is just a straight up question. Is Ryback going to pin Rusev? Are they about to push Ryback back up to the roof?
Yeah.
Because let's be real here. Rusev has been built the hell up.
Good.
But for what? They're not going to do anything with him.
That's what I mean. Ryback is running face right now. If they push Ryback back into the top tier faces, what do you have then? You have Cena, Bryan,
Ryback versus Lesnar.
Ryback? Okay, actually, that would be a match that would be entertaining to see because they both work stiff as fuck and they would hurt each other.
Yeah.
I would watch the fuck out of that match.
I'd watch it to see who left the match more beaten and broken.
They'd end up in a real fight and shit in the middle of the ring.
Pretty much, yeah. There'd be... Well, okay, Brock would whip the shit out of Ryback at that point.
I don't know, you think?
I don't know, man. I think all you gotta do is hit Brock Lesnar in the kidneys a couple times.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
I mean, Ryback's a young motherfucking built dude. That would be a fight to watch right there.
I mean, look, I told you I'd get in a fight with your ass, Beast. I would definitely fight Brock Lesnar. That dude's got weak points to hell.
That's a good point. That's a real good point. I don't know. It worries me because I don't like the character of Rusev. I'm not gonna lie. The idea of running a evil Russian at this point makes no sense. We're not in the goddamn Cold War era anymore. But I like him as a wrestler. He's really athletic.
Oh god, who was that guy? We had the evil terrorist dude at one point. Jinder
Mahal. Man, Jinder.
That was okay. Actually, that was funny shit because he was basically being stereotyped as a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
He had his turban in the glass case every match.
Turban down to the ring and then put it in a glass case every match. Oh god, that was Vince. Lost.
Oh, what? Why did they get rid?
That's
They shouldn't have
also what I
got
hate
rid
about
of the
Swagger.
band. They shouldn't have got rid of the band.
Hang on, I'm gonna bring this up. You guys,
No, they shouldn't
this
have.
is completely off the wall. Did you guys hear about Heath Slater?
Nah.
No, what? Oh yeah, he domestic abuse.
What?
Right?
Sexual assault, I think, is what it was.
No fucking way.
And they're giving him time off right now to take care
Yeah,
of it all.
he's in a thing. It's a thing.
Oh god, it's a bad thing.
It's a really bad thing.
What the fuck is it?
Well, on that note, we just had Kevin Nash beat the shit out of his son over Christmas dinner.
I heard about him doing some shit. What is that? What he did? Beat the fuck out of his kid?
Yeah, dude, he went to jail and shit for it, and they took him off the Legend show that always happens in January.
Oh, Lord.
He was supposed to have a match.
Okay, I'm going to bring it back real serious real quick, because this is also something from Monday night that I really enjoyed, and I can't lie, I wish it would happen every week at this point. Big Show on commentary? Yes? No?
I really miss face Big Show. He was funny.
I don't even mean it for... He could be a face, he could be a heel. He did a very good job of breaking down the emotions of each person in the match. He explained why people were doing things.
So we're talking about just Big Show and JBL? Because fuck Michael Cole.
Yeah. Dude, if commentary was Big Show and JBL, I would take Big Show face and JBL heel, and that would be an amazing... Hell, throw Booker T's ass back in that commentary booth. I would be in heaven.
Booker T's ill when he gets on there, man. He's just crazy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to call him D-Brad. I ain't called him D-Brad before. D-Brad just won the match. God damn it, Booker. You just said you were going to
I would love it.
Booker was one of my favorites always up there. Booker and JBL. You know, I really wish they hadn't gotten rid of Mick Foley when he was on commentary.
That was a thing.
He wasn't bad. He knew what it was like to be in that ring. Unlike Michael fucking Cole.
Yeah. Vintage Cole.
The only thing Cole knows how to do is go into the ring and get his ass whipped.
Seriously.
Except that he somehow magically beat King. That was... Oh, Lord.
Oh, God. So we do really have to cut this to an end. Basically, who do you guys have winning the Rumble at this point? I think we all have Brian for the most part, even though we don't necessarily want it.
I mean, yeah. I do want it. I guess. Yeah, fuck it, man. That's my boy. I had his back for a long time. I'm going with him.
I'm going to go with Brian. I'll say there's a chance they still push Reigns through the goddamn Earth stratosphere, and that he wins the Rumble by super punching 48 people, even though there's only 30 people in the Rumble.
I really feel that is a strong possibility that Rage is going to blow out the rest of the Royal Rumble records in one match.
Let's do the Final Four. Let's do the Final Four.
Ziggler's in. Ziggler's in the Final Four.
So we're going to say Ziggler, Reigns, Daniel Bryan. We have one fourth person.
Randy.
Is it Luke
Randy Orton?
No. If it's Cena, if Cena's in it, it's going to be Cena.
Cena's not in the Rumble. He's not.
He's not in the Rumble?
Oh, he could be. He could be, because the Rumble will take place after the main event.
There's no way they let Cena go to the goddamn Final Four in the Rumble, let alone running it. If that happens, I'm going to eat my own shorts. I will fry them up in my deep fryer, and I will eat them. You can call me on that. I don't give a fuck.
We're going to have video
You
of that,
can have
obviously.
video.
It's gonna have to
I
go
don't
on the
give
site.
a fuck. I honestly, and this is a bit of me liking Randy Orton. This is a bit of me thinking the fact that he's back to wrestling, that they're going to want to bring him back into prominence. I think Orton could hit Final Four and then be the fourth guy. Like, be number 4 and then just get thrown the fuck out as soon as they get down to 4.
I could see Orton making it all the way to Final 2 just because they want you to think he might win.
Big Show.
No.
He's fucking... It's got to be somebody from the Authority. It's got to be an evil bad guy.
I mean, Rollins could go all the way. Rollins could be in the
But
Rumble
why?
and win the
Why?
Rumble.
Money
Why
in the
not?
bank.
He'd still have it. It's good till
You know,
June.
it's a really hard question right now. And like I said earlier, they have a lot of faces and very few heels.
Yeah, that's a major problem.
But if they went 4 heels, 4 faces, and I'm calling Orton a face because we have no idea what he's going to be doing.
Well, speaking of which, Bad News Bear actually is a good choice.
Okay, yeah, Bad News Barrett is an in-betweener who obviously the creative is still very high on, and I could see him going a long way.
I don't see him hitting the Final Four.
I don't think he could be... He'll at least be in the top 10. He will be one of the last 10 people, and that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I don't think we can make a decision. I think we all need to be in bed. It was a happy new year.
And more whiskey.
I got more beer here, but I mean, this was Kayfabe Gimmicks. Any closing words?
Yeah, go hit up the group on Facebook, Kayfabe Gimmicks on Facebook. Go hit it up, join it up. We got wrestling day in and day out for that ass.
We do themes every day. If you want to post some of your favorite matches, feel free to. And yeah, I think that's
You'll see
good.
me comment every once in a million years.
Yeah, same with me.
Or maybe on pay-per-views. Yeah, you guys leave it all on God.
I'm here.
Alrighty.